So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to join our virtual STEM panel this morning. My name is Samantha Fonseca, and I'm the STEM coordinator here at Mass Hire Cape and Islands Workforce Board. We appreciate you taking the time this morning to promote STEM awareness and education and careers with us.
And I am Anna Larson. I am the Connecting Activities Coordinator for the Cape and Islands Workforce Board. And we're just thrilled to have you here because tech and innovation are really essential to the Connecting Activities program.
So STEM Week was launched in 2018 by Governor Baker to bring awareness to STEM education and careers. The CIWB has supported STEM Week through on-site movement of activities and financial support. The theme of STEM Week this year is See Yourself in STEM. So we are going to ask you to think about that as we later ask our questions.
Great. So I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves. I've had the pleasure to meet most of you, but some of the people at home have not. So if Bridget, if you would start us off and give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Bridget Berger, and I'm the director of the Cape Cod Regional STEM Network. I'm housed at Cape Cod Community College, and I coordinate the STEM initiatives across the Cape and Islands that are state funded, and Mass STEM Week is one of them. So we are so excited to be taking part in this panel. I'm so excited to be taking part in this panel today, but we're just excited for the support of Mass Hire Cape and Islands has had for Mass STEM Week. And so our mission is to really foster STEM education opportunities for K through 12 into a career. So I'm excited for us to talk more about everything STEM.
Awesome, thank you. And Carrie, would you go next?
Yeah, sure. Kerry Occasion. I'm from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed and the Career Development Education Lead. I work with several different careers, not just in the STEM field, but part of my position is to promote STEM, and especially for women and people of color. And so I'm really excited to be here on this panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly, would you take it next?
Sure. I am Kelly French. I'm from Mass Hire North Central Workforce Board. I have worked for workforce boards for about 20 years, managing youth programs, and now I manage, in addition to that, is a huge manufacturing consortium across the state.
Awesome, thank you. Tom, would you introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. My name's Tom Fougere. I'm an engineering manager at an industry here in Falmouth, Massachusetts, in the ocean sciences industry. McLean Research Labs is where I work. We do a number of different STEM outreach initiatives. We have groups through the lab here, once or twice a year, groups of children ranging in age from Girl Scout troops up through high school extracurricular groups that have come through. I'm a product of the Cape. I've born and raised in Sandwich, and went to University of Rhode Island for my education, my undergrad education in ocean engineering. And I now live in Mashpee, which I see Michael there is sitting in the Mashpee High School. So I'm glad to see he's here. I have children in the Mashpee education system from preschool up through 6th grade, 4 children. So I'm happy to see the Cape STEM program strong, and I'm glad to do whatever I can to help out to make it even stronger.
Awesome, thank you. I'm also from Mashpee, so that's awesome. And Michael Looney, would you finish it off for us?
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Looney. I am the Director of Career and Technical Education for the Mashpee School District. I'm responsible for many different career pathways here in our school. Manufacturing, technology, and engineering is one of those within our technology center. And that's where we have quite a bit of STEM coursework. And we've been recognized quite a bit for the work that our teachers have done and the programs that we've built. So I've been here for well, 16 years now. We continue to build. As you can see in the background here, we have our new health services program that we hope to get running going into later on this year and into next year. But I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna get started with our questions. So Tom, our first question is gonna be to you. We would
Great.
like to know, what is one thing that excites you most about STEM?
Yeah, so I was just looking over these questions here about a minute ago. I think, you know, if I were to say one thing that excites me about STEM is the pace of innovation. I just think it's interesting to see that, you know, on a day-to-day basis, we have new ideas and new products, new resources to use. And so, you know, it can also be difficult to stay, you know, on the tip of that wave, if you will. It can be frustrating for people, but I think that's something that, you know, you learn to manage. Being in the STEM industry is, you know, just learning to learn new things. That's something I've always said, like out of college, I felt like that was one of the biggest things that I took away, was just learning how to learn and teach yourself new things. So that's what excites me the most, is just, you know, how the industry is innovating at such a rapid pace. And I think it's for people, it's a balance of managing that and fundamentals, and just being able to balance the two and not get too far ahead of yourself. Learn where you can keep up with that fast pace, but also learn when to sit back and take the time needed to put the detail in where it's needed.
Yes, thank you. And I agree with that. You know, I took tech ed all throughout middle school and high school. So I think the best part about watching STEM advance is that, and watching how the technology changes and advances and the innovation that each region comes up with. I think that's very exciting. So
yeah, I feel like it can be difficult because, you know, in today's age, people want things like yesterday. So that, you know, a lot of things do come really quick.
Yes.
But at the same time, you really need that foundation.
Right. Yes.
So it's a balance that needs to be found.
I agree. Kerry, would you be able to tell us a little bit about what excites you most about STEM?
Sure. I mean, really, it's basically that jobs are available. There are STEM jobs available, and we have the bodies to fill these jobs, and we just have to educate them and get them trained, and we'll have a successful STEM workforce in Massachusetts. We're doing a lot of things at the Department of Ed, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but something we're pretty proud of is innovation pathways and identifying STEM as one of the sectors that we are really focused on. So that really excites me about the work, that we have the people. We just have to get the access and awareness out there.
Yes. Thank you both.
So Bridget, I'm going to start with you for the second question. The second question is, what do you believe to be the biggest challenge in STEM at the moment?
So yeah, I have two thoughts on this. One is what Kerry just mentioned, is that the challenge is also the opportunity. What I hear from employers is the challenge is finding qualified people for the jobs that they have. So it's exciting that we have the jobs, but really that is a challenge, I think, to, we know that in computer science and in engineering, there are gaps between the jobs that are open and the people to fill those jobs. So the biggest challenge is to develop that pipeline. And I think Massachusetts is doing such a fantastic job focusing all our efforts on really that talent pipeline for STEM. So, you know, I think that's the goal. It is a challenge. And I think if we keep focused on it, we definitely are making strides and we'll get there. But I just see with the number of scientists in various fields, engineers, computer science people, either new jobs open or people retiring from the field, that we really want to keep our talent here in the Commonwealth employed in these fields. So I think it's really staying focused on that. But within that, I think really one of the biggest challenges nationwide in STEM right now is making sure that we have access, equity, inclusion, and diversity in STEM. Because statistically, we know that women and minorities do not graduate in STEM fields in numbers that are representative of the general population. And I think that's a really big issue. And that's something that we are committed to with the STEM network statewide, is that, you know, we are doubling down, especially in light of everything that has happened this year. It has really brought to our awareness that, you know, we need to take action on that front, and we need to do everything that we can to make sure that we have that equity, access, and inclusion for women and for traditionally underrepresented minority groups in STEM. And so that's something that we're actively working toward.
Awesome, thank you. I completely agree with what you just said. That was great. Tom, if you could answer, what do you believe to be one of the biggest challenges in STEM right now?
You know, I'd probably fall back on my previous answer, saying it's that balance of you know, taking advantage of real time, you know, instant. It's kind of that instant gratification. Like, I can go on the web and search a piece of code and use that, or I could write my own. You know,
Right.
Maybe the one from the web isn't that great, but it may be the path of least resistance. So it's kind of a, like I said, a balance of knowing when to use a resource versus falling back on fundamentals. I'd say the other thing that I feel may be a big obstacle is just cost of education. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I was lucky to go to University of Rhode Island for relatively cheap and got a great education, but I know that that opportunity isn't there for everybody. And it's a big decision to make, to take on student loans and, you know, make that commitment to yourself that you're going to go the full 4 years and get your degree. And then beyond that, you know, actually get a job using your degree, which is a huge step. You know, a lot of people can go get the degree, but
Not the job.
you end up doing what you were doing before. You know, you maybe you go back to work in carpentry or whatever, one of the trades, which is, you know, I'm all for the trades, don't get me wrong. It's just that decision that needs to be made early on, I think, is the degree worth the time and money?
Yeah.
And I just think the amount of money that is spent on degrees that aren't used is a shame. And I think that that's just a huge obstacle for anybody who's thinking about going to get an engineering degree, is the amount of time and resources and money that will be spent to get that degree, and will it pay off in the long run?
Thank you.
Bridget, within your region, what do you feel is the greatest success within STEM right now?
Yeah, so when you say region, do you mean the Cape and Islands geographic region?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so, you know, one of, Tom mentioned this, it's really this rapid innovation incubator that we have with WHOI and MBL and all of the spin-offs that are there. I think as McLean Labs is one example of these world-class top research institutions are spinning off and really driving innovation in our region, which is super exciting. If you look at the companies that are right here on the Cape and Islands, Teledyne, Onset, McLean Labs, you know, it's just phenomenal. That's a huge success for our region. So one of the things I'm most excited about is really, and this is my role with the STEM network, is, you know, we are taking an ecosystem approach where all of those companies and all that innovation are part of this ecosystem that we're building. And our role is to connect the schools, the students, the teachers with these industries. And so, you know, one of the things we've done is focused on the blue economy, because so many of these industries are tied to that blue economy. So, you know, we launched Waterworks, and Mass Hire has been a sponsor of that. We launched that with the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce and the Blue Economy Foundation. And I really think that the efforts that we're putting into the blue economy initiatives and STEM within that is something I'm very proud of, and I know that it makes a big impact for the students. The Waterworks Career Day draws over 300 students each year. This year, I don't think we're going to be able to hold it. We hold it at 4Cs. The campus is closed because of COVID, and it's just not going to happen. But as far as I know, but you know, we bring 50 employers and 300 students, and all focused on the blue economy. So to me, that's, you know, that is a great success.
Now, Kerry, I know your region is a little different. Would you be able to tell us some success with STEM in your region?
Sure. I think that, you know, STEM is interesting because you've mentioned, you know, that it is not always accessible to all, or all don't think that it's accessible. And I think one of the things that's really important is to provide confidence to young people in order to know that they can actually go into a STEM field. And a lot of the times that we see a lower confidence is in math. So if we can really work on the educational system to show what math is in the real world, what do you need it for? How is it applied? And that allows them to have a lot more confidence. And we've had a Women in Technology program that we've run for about 20 years at North Central. And it is out of Johnson Controls Company. And we work with about 20 women from 8 different schools that go in and tackle a problem that allows them to see what they're learning and puts it into place so that they gain that confidence of going into a STEM, whatever STEM career that they're looking for. But it's really giving that confidence to young people, no matter where they are. Math is not something for only, for lack of a better word, for people that might think that they're smart. It's for everybody. It's just a matter of learning how to apply it. And Tom had mentioned this before, it is working through problems, being a real problem solver, which is one of the things that we do most in the real world, is we're always looking at problems and trying to solve them, and for a real concrete answer. And when you can provide those opportunities, then everyone's confidence swells and they're willing to move into those careers.
Thank you.
And so the fourth question we have for you, Mike. How do you promote STEM within your region?
We promote STEM through our pathways, primarily. We recently were awarded an innovation pathway in advanced manufacturing. And throughout our time, I think our lights are going to go off for a second. Throughout our time, throughout my time in Mashpee, I've been building these programs for the past 16 years. And one of the things that I did from the beginning, along with the staff of Mashpee, was to develop sequential course offerings of electives that we had. And within our technology center, we saw that we had many courses, including a drafting and a technology and engineering, in an applied technology class, and creating those sequential course offerings similar to a vocational school, because we are a traditional school, traditional comprehensive school. We were able to offer more opportunities for more students. So it wasn't just something that was offered in the vocational schools, it was something that we decided to bring on here at the comprehensive school to be able to build that. In addition to creating the opportunities within the school, building on partnerships with Mass Hire. Mass Hire has been a huge supporter and partner with regards to writing different grants to be able to support the innovation within our school. as well as our partnerships outside of the school with industry, with the Home Builders and Remodelers Association and so forth. So building partnerships, looking at opportunities, bringing in guest speakers, working on building internships and job shadow experiences for students, and really getting embedded into exposure, and then ultimately an immersive experience is really what we've been doing to promote STEM within our region.
That's awesome. And Kerry Occasion, how do you promote STEM within your region?
So I work with all the regions in Massachusetts, so it's statewide. We do a ton of different things to promote STEM. One major success that we've had is that my colleagues work tirelessly on developing, applying, and obtaining a grant. It's a STEM access grant for AP courses, and we're going to identify STEM deserts in Massachusetts. And some of my partners say, you know, America is a STEM desert. For example, I grew up in the city of Lowell. We have UMass Lowell, and there was not one day where I was encouraged really deeply in any, you know, to get involved with anything STEM related. So that has improved. So now we're really working to identify places where students don't have access to courses that can help them really get involved with STEM, start them early, and then take these AP courses and help them be retained in fields, in STEM fields. But then also we work tirelessly to promote women and girls in STEM. This is something that has been, some people really emphasize it and some people don't. And I think now that I'm in this position, this is a lens that I care deeply about. I'm also a commissioner on the status of women and girls, along with my role as the career development education lead at DESE. So we're putting more of an emphasis on the employability of women and people of color, especially in fields that can help them be supported. So we use social media, applying for funding, really promoting our message that we care about the employability of all students, but especially students in underrepresented and underserved communities.
Thank you so much. And Kelly, I believe you had something to say about how you promote STEM in your region.
Yeah, well, I think it's in this particular area, promoting STEM. I think if you were to think of this month, which is Manufacturing Month, we'll take that for an example. Right now, we have a statewide initiative that we have taken the lead on to create a virtual manufacturing day. And if you look at advanced manufacturing, it contains so many of the STEM careers. You know, you've got bio-life sciences, you've got robotics, you've got augmented reality, you've got IT. Any kind of science that you're looking for is in advanced manufacturing, because you need to be able to research and develop it and then make it. So right now we have launched this virtual advanced manufacturing day across the state, where students can go in and learn 9 different areas of STEM careers and how it applies to advanced manufacturing. And that hopefully will provide an awareness to students. We're getting anywhere from 6th grade to 12th grade that are coming in and using the site. We've created lesson plans for teachers to make it so that it's a package deal, that they can just provide that to their students. We felt that this is a great approach to remote learning that's going on right now, so that it's flexible, they can put it into their schedule when it works. And so, yeah, that actually launched on Monday, and we've had over 1,000 visitors at the site. And it includes, again, the lesson plan and a certificate, so it gives accountability to the students that go and take part in it.
That's amazing, and that's really great that you could launch that virtually and still have, you know, that important activity for students. Sam, would you like to ask the last question?
Yes, so in regards to this year's theme for See Yourself in STEM, I would like each of you to talk about how you would inspire young adults to pursue STEM and the ways in which you would do this. So I'd love it if each of you could touch upon this. So Bridget, you're first on my screen. So would you begin?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So yeah, I'm glad you asked this question because, STEM is inspiring. But I think, like Kelly said, some people don't always identify with that. And so I think really what my message to young adults would be is to follow their passion, follow their interest. If they are interested, they can do it. And just know that they are not alone. There are adults out there willing to help them get their degree, lots of programs willing to help them explore careers. And so, what they can do is connect with the regional STEM network where they live. Each of the STEM networks has a variety of programs that we have in place to help students explore and find those pathways. I just would say the sky's the limit. If you can dream it, you can do it. So, and I'm going to agree with Kelly on the math. I'm going to also say very practically take math early and often, and don't be discouraged.
Great, thank you. And Michael, can you go next?
Yeah, certainly. I would just say, like I say to every single student within the Mashpee School District, it's just have fun. Have fun, get engaged, look at opportunities, be resourceful, and be able to utilize the different tools, equipment, machines that are out there for you to be able to kind of explore with and ask questions about and see the connections between your academics and what's in front of you. So, the way I look at STEM is it's a hands-on approach to learning. And it's utilizing the resources that we have in front of us each and every single day. And those of us who are fortunate enough to bring in different tools and equipment into our classrooms, dive right in, have fun, and see where it connects to opportunities for your future.
Great. And Tom, how would you answer this question?
Yeah, I guess I would start by saying, learn how to work closely with other people. In practice here at McLean on a day-to-day basis, I rely on my coworkers more than myself, to tell you the truth. So it's really important to be a good team worker. Maybe not no one, but most people can't do this type of innovation on their own. It really is a team industry. So I would say put an emphasis on, working closely with other people and learn how to ask the right questions and use other people's abilities along with your own, to mesh and produce a product in the end that's better than it was before. On top of that, I would say just find that area. STEM is so broad, and it's good to kind of learn a little bit about it all, but it's also great to find that one piece that really interests you and that you can, stay interested in for a long time so that you can become an expert. I'll also say to Kelly's point, math is just so important. And I was never a good math student. I took calculus, I don't know, probably 5 times between high school and college. Different levels of calculus, but still it was something that had to be pounded into me. So, and my wife is a math teacher at Sandwich High School. So I see, what a great math student is, and I know how I was, and I see her dealing with students that are struggling and, getting deterred from continuing down that path. But in fact, you just got to stick with it. And even if you're not the greatest math student in high school, it doesn't mean you can't go on and be an engineer someday. So I would say just stick with it, and it'll come to you eventually. And honestly, in the end, how much calculus do I use every day? not that much, but it's important to learn it because you need to know those fundamentals, and you need to know, you know, why things work the way they do, and the right questions to ask. So no doubt you need to learn it, and it's one of those things that every other subject is going to fall back on, the calculus or math in some way. So if you don't have the fundamentals in math, you know, you're gonna feel it in physics, and you're gonna feel it in the other applied engineering math classes. So I would say just stay the course, and just try to get to that end goal.
Great, thank you. And Kelly French, how would you inspire young adults to pursue STEM?
Well, I think that it's a matter of one, we in a society are afraid of failure. And one of the things that's most important in STEM in order to give us that foundation is the fact that don't be afraid of failure, because that failure might produce a better product. So when you're going out there to learn and you feel like you're not quite making it, don't worry about that, because that's a process that'll allow you to really bring something even better to the table the next time around. So it's really a matter of making sure that you realize that, you know, Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb, he worked a long time before he actually created that light bulb. And look where we are now with you know, LEDs, etc. There's a lot of process, and so problem solving is a really exciting thing. So talking to people and having them understand that problem solving is a wonderful opportunity, going out and seeing things and trying things, and not worrying about what the end product is immediately, but what you're learning in the process.
I love that. And Kerry, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, the STEM fields in general are mission driven, right? If we're trying to get women and people of color to get into STEM fields, we really need to focus on the problems that they could solve when they end up, you know, in a different field. I'm thinking like students are kind of like removed from math. They don't see how it can apply. So I'm thinking about like what Kelly was saying and what Tom was saying. But women and students of color really want to help solve problems, and they want their career to be focused on an ethic of care. So if we can start to inspire them to see what problems they can solve in society after they leave high school, it would be really really important. So yeah.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I see that it's a common theme for, you know, a collaborative team effort. Never give up, you know, keep inspiring all students to, you know, kind of follow paths that they might not have considered during high school, that, you know, you never know where you're going to end up, and to never give up and keep pushing forward. So this kind of concludes our virtual STEM panel, but does anybody have anything else that they had wanted to add, or provide any information on any STEM programs that you offer within your region that you kind of want to promote, or? Nothing? Okay, awesome.
The Make It in Massachusetts, in Massachusetts.com, which is going on now. It's through STEM Week for all students. We also have nonprofits that are going there to look at all these different opportunities in advanced manufacturing. And also, I have not announced this, but I'm sending out an email today to extend it so that the actual website will be up another week. We've talked with a lot of teachers who they're in a bi-weekly mode, and so only half of their students are being able to partake in STEM Week. So we want to make sure that that's an opportunity for all students.
Great, thank you, Kelly. And thank you all. So, oh, go ahead, Bridget.
And I was just going to say, for more information on what the Cape Cod Regional STEM Network is doing, we have a website, capecodstemnetwork.org. We have a film festival in equity and ethics in STEM we're sponsoring this week. Everyone is invited to register for that and spread the word. We have teacher externships. We support teachers with passing along information about scholarships. We have a newsletter. So just check there for more information on what we are up to. Thank you so much for hosting this panel.
Yes, thank you all so much for taking the time this morning to participate in our STEM panel, and we look forward to collaborating with you all in the future, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.